to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo. Brought to you by Coastal Appliances, Island Automotive, Somerset Mortgage, The Emerald Princess, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care and Media Care, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, and by Loco's Grill and Pub. Now here's the voice of the Glynn Academy Red Terrors, Kevin Price.
Welcome to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price on location at Loco's Grill and Pub. We will be here each and every week on Sunday night at 6:30 for the entire season. This segment of the Rocky Hidalgo Show is sponsored by Island Automotive, Coastal Appliances, The Emerald Princess, Somerset Mortgage, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care, Immediate Care, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, and also Locos. And now joining us is the head coach of the Glynn Academy Red Terrors, Rocky Hidalgo.
Well, I bring y'all everywhere.
As you can see, we have another good crowd out here at Locos, and Coach, coming off a different result this week. The Glynn Academy Red Terrors go down 46-17 at Camden County in Kingsland this past Friday night. The Red Terrors fall to 2-1 on the season, but most importantly are still 1-0 in the region. And as we turn to you, obviously we'll ask a lot of questions about the Camden game and then move things forward. But just in general, a tough night down in Kingsland.
You know, it was. I think we did a lot of good things. You know, I think we probably lost that game because the Wildcat paw on the side of the helmet. I went into the game thinking our kids would. The game went in a lot of ways like I thought it would. I knew our kids would compete. I felt like we could move the ball. I thought we could score on offense. Defensively, I thought we could play defense with them. And all those things were true. The biggest thing is we made too many mistakes, and it's something that we're preaching on. I think as a program, right now we're still developing, and we're just, you know, Friday night we weren't ready to win that game, and hopefully, you know, 2, 3, 4 weeks from now we will be.
All right, and I wanted to touch on some of those things, and you kind of led me right in. But going into the game, I really thought that Glynn Academy had nothing to lose but a football game. And what I mean by that is most people really didn't expect Glynn Academy to go down there and win. And I know that's obviously the main objective, but for you as a coach, win or lose, I thought this would be a good teaching tool for you to kind of go back and tell the kids what went right, what went wrong against a good opponent like Camden. So all in all, yeah, I would assume it's still a positive experience, even though the result wasn't what you went down there for.
Well, you know, when you watch the video, you see us drive up and down the field all night long. I mean, literally, we offensively, we moved the ball constantly. Had the ball 3 times inside the 20, I believe, in the first half, and came away with no points. So, in defensively, we did a great job at times defensively. I think at some point in time in the game, after we muffed the punt and they went up on us, I think a lot of our kids, you know, I think traditionally they haven't believed that they can come back from situations like that. And that's one of the things that, you know, Camden has. They've been there. They've been winning games for over a decade, and we're trying to build something. We're going to build a program that's our kids are going to believe in. And in a situation where we go in at halftime, we're down 13-3, we get down to 23, our kids will eventually believe they can win that game. Right now, we think we can, but there's a difference between, you know, belief and faith, you know, and so eventually we'll be able to come to that stuff, and I think we'll be able to do it before the end of the year. But when I watch the tape, I see our kids competed. I think, you know, whereas against Brunswick we were probably playing with 7 guys, I think we were probably playing with 8 or 9 Friday night a lot of times. We're getting close to doing the things we need to do to go out and beat good teams. We really are.
This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And Coach, you kind of already touched on it a little bit, but one thing I was interested in seeing is just how Glynn Academy would handle that environment, and just the whole atmosphere, the hype surrounding the game. It was one of the top games in the state by a lot of the media outlets, particularly in the Atlanta area too, who know your past and know you're down here getting things off to a good start. But just go back and you mentioned the Wildcat, Paul. How do you think the kids really did handle the situation overall?
Well, you know, I think our kids wanted to go and play, but I think until you've been thrust in those big games over and over again, sometimes you don't know how to react, and sometimes you don't know how to perform. We're going to continue to play them. I don't know why they didn't play them for years. We're going to play them every year. I'll tell you, anybody right now, we're going to put them on the schedule because that's going to be our measuring stick. We're going to go down there and we're going to compete against Camden, and we may never beat them. We may beat them every year one day. But, that's who we want to be. And the one thing I walked away from that game on Friday night is that we can be Camden County. We may be a 5A Camden County, but we can develop a program that's comparable to that. And I spent 30 minutes on the phone with Jeff Herron on Friday morning, just talking to him about how he built the program and what it was like getting there, because there are different obstacles here than there were at my previous job. And Jeff gave me a lot of insight into it. Coach Herron's a great coach. He built that program. Coach Coffey, I spoke with him after the game. I said, can I come down and speak with you when the season's over with? We modeled our program at Walton High School after Brookwood High School. We're going to model our program here after Camden County. Their demographics are very similar to ours. We're going to go down there, and I'm going to see what they do well, and we're going to bring it back to our place, and we're going to improve on it. And our goal is that one day we're going to win games because we're Glynn Academy. And I think Friday night was a part. Their kids, they've been winning for so long, they believe that they're going to win when they take the field because they're Camden County, and we haven't gotten there yet at Glynn, but we will. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We're just starting out. We're building a foundation. I think our kids competed really well. I'm proud of that. But it's a great game that we can go back and see where we made our mistakes and hopefully improve upon it.
And Coach, you mentioned the mistakes, and some of those same mistakes were made in weeks 1 and 2, and we'll talk about some of them that kind of stand out more than others. But you were able to get away with some of those things in the first week and the second week. But when you play a team like Camden County, you just can't do the kind of things that you guys unfortunately did.
No, and that's Camden County. They've made a program beating teams who made mistakes. That's who they are. I mean, they play great defense. They run the football, great special teams. They wait for you to screw up, and they pounce on it. That's what great teams do, and that's what they did, and that's the type of program we want to develop at Glynn. So one of the things we'll go back and we'll look at some personnel, see if we've got personnel in the right spot. But mostly we've got to go back and instill in our kids that every play is important. I think a lot of times, and I talked on this last week about our practice habits. Our practice habits have to get better. When we learn to practice better, we'll learn to play better, and that's not an easy thing to learn. And our kids want to, but wanting to do something and knowing how to do it are two totally different things. And they're learning to run an offense, learning to run a defense, and learning to go at it for 2 hours and 15 minutes. At a pace that they're not used to. It's a lot of change. It's a lot of transition. And they get a little better at it every day. Our practices were used to be good for about an hour or so, and they would tail off after about an hour. Now they're good for about 90 minutes or so. So we're getting better, and we're closer. We're just not quite there yet.
All right, there's more to come here on the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
For all of your automotive repair needs, visit Island Automotive, 1950 Demery Road, across from the fire station on St. Simon's Island. They're a family-owned and operated business that has been delivering great service not only to St. Simon's, but to all of Southeast Georgia for over 25 years. Your complete auto repair and auto detailing facility. Online at islandautomotivecenter.com or at 912-638-0888. And go Terrors! Coastal Appliances is your one-stop shop for Whirlpool washers and dryers, Whirlpool refrigerators, and so much more. Coastal Appliances offers free delivery and service after installation and have also been in business for over 30 years. 4727 Altama, next to Sonic, and on the web at appliancesbrunswickga.com, or give them a call at 912-267-0132. Coastal Appliances, Glynn County's only specialty appliance store.
Hop Hop aboard for Texas Hold'em tournaments, roulette, poker, lots of slot action, food, music, and more. Labor Day weekend, Sunday, August 31st, 7 p.m. Cruises depart from Brunswick, Georgia. Call 800-842-0115 or visit EmeraldPrincessCasino.com. Must be 18 years of age and present a government-issued photo ID to board.
I'm Jenkins Nissan.
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 I am Jenkins Nissan.
I'm Donnie Jenkins. We're all Jenkins Nissan, and together we want to show you just how easy buying and servicing your car should be. So please, stop by and experience the Jenkins Nissan difference. Look for the red and white Nissan tent at the corner of Chapel Crossing Road and the Spur, or visit us online at jenkinsnissanofbrunswick.com.
Welcome back to the Glynn Coachs Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price. We're on location from Loco's Grill and Pub on St. Simons. This segment brought to you by Island Automotive, Coastal Appliances, Jenkins Nissan, and the Emerald Princess. And now with us, as they've been here for a couple of weeks, but two different Glynn Academy cheerleaders are here tonight, ready to do a cheer for us, Red Terror style.
2014, hit it. 2014, the year of the best. GA Terrors, better than the rest. Go Terrors.
All right, give them a hand. Of course, our Glynn Academy cheerleaders are out each and every Friday night supporting the Red Terrors along with the crowd, and there was a good crowd down in Kingsland. Unfortunately, things did not work out in the Terrors' favor. They lose 46-17 and fall to 2-1. But Coach, you mentioned the mistakes, and that's where we'll kind of pick up on again. But I know two areas of concern that you might have right now are the penalties and the turnovers. The other night you had 15 penalties for 111 yards. And now for the season, you have 30 penalties for 234 yards. As a coach, are you starting to maybe get a little frustrated with particularly some of the things like false starts and offsides, just things, not necessarily hustle plays, maybe more mental mistakes?
Honestly, I think what we have, our effort was better Friday night. So I'm really happy about that. But it is about developing. Our focus has got to improve. Our discipline has to improve, and that's a personal aspect of every kid on the team. They have to make the personal decision, individual decision, that they're going to go out there and they're going to focus at practice for when they're in drills, and we're getting better at that. And I think you'll see in time those things will come down. It's one thing for holding calls or blocking in the back or stuff. The offsides. I think we jumped offsides defensively 6 times, and part of that is because we're being aggressive. But a part of it is because we need to work. We need to be more disciplined. Offensively, we had, our first possession. We started with a 1st and 15, picked up the first down. 1st and 15, picked up the first down. I think we got a holding call in it with 1st and 25, and had a 4th and 4. And we ran a fake punt. We got exactly what we wanted, and we dropped the snap. And really, I mean, it's one of those things where it's eventually they'll make the decision that they want to eliminate those things. And we're coaching it at practice, and they're trying. But I think it's one of those things that'll come, and like I said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not going to happen overnight. And I have seen improvement in us over 3 games. We need to see improvement in that aspect if we want to go down and beat Coffee in 2 weeks.
And of course, a couple of penalties were costly as you were deep inside the red zone. The pass interference penalty put you out good potential scoring range, and then you had another holding call late in the half where you had to settle for the field goal. Still not sure what was seen on the pass interference. I'll let you elaborate on that if you want to, but those penalties were particularly costly for sure.
I'll save my $250 on that one. But it was, look, it's one of those things. There was contact. I mean, was it, it's a judgment call. It's a bang play. It is what it is. I think what's really important is because of the score, if we take advantage of one of those things, as long as our games are close, our kids will feel like they have an opportunity to win. And this is where when you're building a program, developing a program, as opposed to if you're at a Camden County or a Lowndes who's won for a long time, it's important for us to get off to good starts and stay within striking distance of people, because our kids are just now learning how to win. And when you're learning how to win, if you dig yourself a hole, it's harder emotionally to dig yourself out. And we have a lot of kids who struggle with that. One of the things we coach our kids all the time, and you'll hear Coach Jackson say, flush it. When they make a mistake, to flush it. We have a lot of kids, they want to win, and they care about things so much that they carry it with them and they let it impact their play later on in the game. I think we had a couple of kids that happened to in the game Friday night. It's not that they didn't play hard, it's just mentally after they made a mistake, it impacted how they performed. So, there's a lot that goes into that. A lot of people think, just run them. We do run them. We give them ticks, up, downs for mistakes and stuff. But there's more to that. It's psychologically, our kids are learning to be winners. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, that's what we're trying to teach them how to do. And the only way you can learn to be a winner and believe that you're going to win something is to go out and win games. And play in Camden County in week 3 of the season down there. The third game of a new coaching staff, new system. It's a tough task to ask the kids to do. I think they did a great job in their effort and their competitiveness in the game. I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm disappointed that we made so many mistakes, because we probably, lost an opportunity to win that game because of it.
You're listening to the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network, and Coach, I know one thing you preached even before we started the show was ball security. And you had 5 turnovers the other night, and I think now you have 10 for the season. How do you keep correcting these things? Kind of just like the penalties, just keep repping and keep drilling, and hopefully it all finally sinks in?
Yeah, we correct ball security. We work ball security every day at practice. It's one of the points of emphasis that we do. But again, it's what we said, focus and discipline. It is about a kid when he's in the game that he's got to remember, it's got to become second nature to squeeze that ball high and tight. And make sure you cover the nose. And sometimes the defense just makes plays. I think Zach's last interception over there when the kid just made a great break on the ball and tipped it. That was a great play. Sometimes the defense will make plays. I think Troy's the fumble on the kickoff. Honestly, I think the kid just put a hat on the football. It's one of those things. Sometimes that happens. And there were 2 or 3 others, though. It was either a mistake in ball security, or it was, we just didn't follow through on something, or did one small thing wrong, and that led to a turnover. As we continue to get better and more familiar with what we do, I think we'll start to eliminate those things.
And you kind of mentioned this already, but I know late third quarter, early fourth quarter, when it was pretty obvious the result was going to be what it was going to be, that was all about pride and character playing the rest of the game. And I know one time you called a timeout, I think when Camden was driving, just came across midfield. I think they already had the 46 points at that time, but was that possibly what that timeout was about? Just, hey, let's keep competing all the way to the end?
Yeah, we don't want to quit. That's why we onside kick twice. I don't care what it is. We want to finish the game, and that's what I preach to the kids. Finish the game, finish the game, finish the game. Let's finish the game and build on this. There's no, I say this, when we were at Walton High School, we played in 3 semifinals, a state championship game. We won, I think, 6 or 7 region championships. They had never done any of that. And that was all built on, as crazy as it sounds, it was all built on a 63-14 loss when Harrison beat us in the first round of the playoffs in 2001. That was built on our kids coming together after that loss and just gelling and said, we want to do something special. So you don't know when that moment's going to be. It could be in a big win, but it could be in a loss where your kids come together. And frankly, I think we have an opportunity here because our kids are going to watch the tape and see how they went and competed against one of the best teams in 6A. When they see the tape and see us pushing them around, our offensive line pushing them around and us running the ball, and defensively, when we were really engaged in the game, for most of the first and second quarter, they could not do anything on offense. And when that game was still undecided, our kids were playing their tails off. And so I think when they see what they are able to do, I think it'll spur them on and really kind of, motivate them to work a little harder and make the next step, take the next step.
All right. Well, we will be right back to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Relax. Misty's Element Massage specializes in helping you do just that. Located at 138 Village Market on St. Simons Island, Misty's Element Massage offers deep tissue massages, therapeutic massages, scrubs, creams, body wraps, and much more. The perfect gift for that special someone, not to mention sports massages for that aching muscle. Schedule your appointment today at 912-224-0198 or on the web at mistyselement.com.
Bruce Kennedy Tire is your hometown destination for tires. Michelin, Goodyear, and all the brands you trust. But don't let the name fool you. Bruce Kennedy Tire, located at 2928 Norwood Street, does more than just tires. Brakes, alignments, repair work, and more than I can mention. Bruce Kennedy is locally owned and operated, so you get the best service in Glynn County. So give Bruce a call at 912-264-6578. Bruce Kennedy Tire, a name you can trust. Get affordable health care when you need it. At Apple Care Immediate Care, our team of compassionate healthcare providers is dedicated to treating each patient with the highest standard in healthcare. Located at 1111 Glencoe Parkway, Apple Care is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Apple Care welcomes all walk-ins from pediatric to adult ages and accepts most insurance plans. Visit us at applecaredoctors.com and like us on Facebook.
Hello, Glynn Academy Red Terror fans. It's an exciting time of the year when football season starts. It's also an exciting time of the year if you are buying a home and need a great mortgage team on your side. The smart folks at Somerset Mortgage will help you lock in the best rates and closing costs, but more importantly, they have the patience and expertise you need to get you to the closing table. Call Somerset to find out more. 638-2020, conveniently located next to Outback on St. Simons. Somerset, 638-2020.
It's time to get together with friends and family to enjoy great games, great food, and a great atmosphere at Loco's on St. Simons Island. Loco's has something for everyone with their classic sandwiches, fresh salads, and specialty burgers. And Loco's award-winning wings, from traditional boneless or slow roasted, means it's time to get your wings on. With football season starting, don't forget to catch the game at Loco's too. Be sure to like Loco's on Facebook to keep up with the latest. Have your friends meet you at the Moose.
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Red Terror Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price. We're on location at Loco's Grill and Pub on St. Simons. This segment brought to you by Misty's Element Massage, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care Immediate Care, and Somerset Mortgage. And Coach, coming off the Camden game, you're heading into an off week. You play Coffee County in 2 weeks. Just kind of talk about the structure you guys will have and what approach you will take to the off week.
Well, you know, we'll take this week, and what we'll do is we'll go out, and really it'll be like a camp week for us. We'll go back to camp, and we're going to focus on fundamentals. I think anybody's watched us play, that's been a big part of what we need to work on. So we'll really go focus on our fundamentals: blocking, tackling, you know, reads, keys, ball security. That's going to be our focus this week, and getting down to it. We're not going to talk about Coffee County this week. Our goal is really improve the Glynn Academy Red Terrors Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll practice. We'll take a couple days off, give the kids some time off to heal, really put a little focus in our young kids, and then go watch Friday night. I'm going to get in the car and go watch a great high school football game with Ware County and Coffee County. You know, I'm obviously I'm going to be a coach and I'm looking for a reason, but you know, I'm going to go watch the game and just take it. I love high school football. I want to sit in the stands. I want to listen to the bands play, excitement in the air. There's nothing like a great high school football game, and I know it's going to be a great one down there, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is going to be a good one. Of course, just for everybody listening, that's Ware County and Coffee, two of the better teams in this region. They'll be going at it head-to-head. in Memorial Stadium in Waycross, and of course that's an old baseball park that they've renovated into a football field. Should be an electric atmosphere, and I do agree. If you're a high school football fan in the area, Brunswick and Camden do play here, but of course you have other reasons for going down there, and not only to enjoy the game, but to scout two teams. And we were talking in the break, you have not seen Ware yet really, but you know what they kind of got personnel-wise, but you have seen Coffee, and just give us a little insight into Coffee, the team you'll play in a couple of weeks.
They're huge. I mean, they are a massive football team. You get them on tape, they look like they've got a bunch of refrigerators or Coke coolers playing on the offensive and defensive lines. They've got a bunch of big kids out there. Lots of skill at the skill positions. Got a good football team. Very well coached. I've just seen a little bit of their first game versus North Oconee. You know, and so it's going to be a tough matchup for us. And I'm really interested to see them and Ware. I mean, since game one, teams change, they improve. You know, and watching them versus Ware County a little bit, and those two guys butt heads against each other will be fun.
And let's go back. You mentioned one thing that I found curious. In the off week, you're going to look at some of your young kids, but with guys like Lamper and Garrison Hurd, they've kind of taken some licks in the first couple of weeks. Would you maybe back off on some of the reps they take and put some younger kids in there with the first team and see what they do, or just how will you handle your personnel between working them hard and maybe backing off and giving them some rest?
Well, you know, I'd love to, but the fact of the matter is we've got guys. All of our guys, our starters, you know, we don't have anybody who's there yet. And I've been at places where we could take, you know, I had a kid that went to Alabama as a quarterback. He was a 2-year starter. You know, he'd been in the system he'd been running it since he was in 6th grade. You know, we could take him for 3 days and let a younger guy come up and play some quarterback with the first group. You know, with us being the first year, really we've only been here for, you know, 4 months or something like that. We really don't have that luxury. We need every rep we can get. And I think if you watch like Zach play, you see the improvement. Everybody should see the improvement in his play. He's getting a better grasp of the offense. But, you know, it is what it is. He's still making some mistakes back there because he's only been doing it, you know, really for about, I guess we're, you know, 6 weeks. You know, we still have some alignment issues. There's a lot of very small, a lot of people won't see this, but there's a lot of detail that goes into offense, defense. Just, I mean, you know, being a foot forward or back or side to side can throw off the whole play. And we've had a little bit of that, some of our spacing at the wide receiver spots. So, you know, this is going to be an opportunity for us to go and clean that up and not really give guys time off. You won't see us going and pounding Garrison Hurd and Zach Lamper at practice. We don't want to do that. But we're gonna get in there. We're gonna give them some work because they need the work. This stuff is all relatively new to them, and every rep they get is just gonna make them that much better.
This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And Coach, I guess we have some time for some extra questions, but just talk about what's happening within the program on the JV and freshman level.
Well, you know, we don't have a freshman team this year. When I showed up, we didn't have a schedule. And that's unfortunate, but we're going to rectify that in the future. We're going to make sure that we have a 9th grade team moving forward. Our JV's 0-2. We lost a close game to Brunswick and really played well versus Camden County the other day. Anybody who was at the game saw them. You know, and one of the things I saw when I watched Camden, again, I go back to Camden because in this area, you know, they're the big boy on the block. And I saw, when I watched those guys, I saw they had this JV staff, they had all these coaches coaching their JV guys. We have to get more coaches at Glynn Academy. We have to hire more guys. We've got 120 guys in the program. We've got to get more boots on the ground, as they say, to coach our kids so that you know, our kids are learning the system from the 9th grade up. I mean, we have essentially one offensive line coach at Glynn Academy, and we're playing you know, Camden, who's got 3 or 4. And we've got to rectify that in the offseason. One of the things that playing Camden this week showed me is not only where we are, but where we need to go. It was eye-opening for me, you know, having coached 6A football. The number one thing that we've got to do, we've got to hire good quality coaches, more good quality coaches, and get them here coaching our kids.
Well, you kind of mentioned talking to Coach Coffey and also Coach Herring. I know the coaching situation is probably one big difference, but what are some of the biggest differences? Where are some of the things Glynn Academy is short in right now to get you moving in that direction that you want to be?
You know, I think one of the things obviously is a weight room facility, and the school board has rectified that. They'll be soon. Actually, I'm supposed to meet next week with Mr. Boudreau and Steve Waters, and we're going to walk through the old middle school gym. We're going to renovate that and turn it into a new weight room and new football facility. So that's very important, obviously. And in the future renovation, they'll start renovating Glynn Academy, and those things are important because we want people in this community to have pride in the school. And I think you'll see over the next 4 or 5 years the plans of the school board and the school system are to renovate that school and make it something everybody can be really proud of. Obviously, they've done that at Brunswick High School in Brunswick. You know, that's been great for that community to have that new school, and hopefully in 5 years or so, we'll have an all-new Glynn Academy, top to bottom, and people will really take pride in the facility itself, and it'll you know, really echo the great tradition that we have there. But I think you'll see that. Those are really two things. I think what we've done is getting the booster club, our football booster club, started again here, and we've had a good fall. Really, we had to you know, ready, fire, aim it a little bit here because I got such a late start being hired in May. But we've got to get our booster club going. You know, I'll say this for our community. I think people are getting excited about our football program. What we have to do is we need people to come out and support the program. There's a lot of need in our community with our kids. We have a lot of kids that have nutritional issues that just can't get enough food during the day. And we've got to, you know, and that's our goal when we go play Coffee County. Coffee County's new field house has got a cafeteria in it. They feed the players a meal over there every day. So, you know, we have to look at how we can do this and supplement their nutritional intake so they're getting enough food every day so they can go and get bigger, stronger, and maintain themselves, not just so that they're better players, but so that they avoid injury. You know, I think we need to come in, and what we've started there is, you know, we're going to kick off an academic support program with our kids. We need to make sure, we need our community to come in and help us with this. And we've had some people volunteer to come in and help tutor kids. We need to make sure that our players are not only eligible to play at Glynn Academy, but they qualify to go off and go to college. And, you know, I'm a big believer that, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. It's going to take this community. When you go down to Camden County, that community built that football program, and Jeff Herron had a vision for it, and the community got behind it, and they built a great football program there. And I think you go back you look at Lowndes and Colquitt and Ware County and the schools around here in the southeast, somebody with vision was there, and the community bought into it. And we've got to develop a vision, and we need to sell it to people in the community. We need people to get on board and go all in, not just so that we win football games, because this is good for Glynn Academy. This is going to be good for the community. This is going to be good for Brunswick as a whole. There's no downside to being excellent at something. There's no downside. And I think the reception of this has been really good. I think people are going to get behind it, and I think you'll see a lot of community support over the next 12 months. We'll really get it rolling here in the next year.
All right, Coach. Well, we're out of time, but we certainly appreciate you being here with us tonight and offering great insight as usual. We look forward to this each and every week. I also want to thank everybody for coming out to the Rocky Hidalgo Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Come out and join us here at Locos each and every Sunday on St. Simon's Island. We'll be here at 6:30 for the Coach Hidalgo Show. Once again, I'm Kevin Price, signing off.